today here in Helsinki we are going to interview Tonislav Hristov. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, you presented yesterday your Truth or Dare documentary in DocPoint, and you said that has been really challenging for you. Can you tell us in these 20 years or something in this field, what has been challenging you in your personal life, if you want to share like?
No, I've been trying to, now and then I do master classes with some young filmmakers, and I think it's not the most challenging, but it's quite challenging to realize and understand that the process of making film is not 1 or 2 days. It takes years, most of the time over 2-3 years. So I think the main challenging is how to keep on being excited about the thing you do for that long time, and how to keep on pushing and not giving up, because there is many people who sit in a bar and say, I can do a film about that or that, and it's a great, but actually it takes a lot of effort to finish a film. And I think this is was really hard in that film Truth or Dare. As I said yesterday on the Q&A, that it was one of the hardest project I have worked on, because it takes a lot of time. It's political, and usually the political documentaries, they are more like a current affairs, which means they are very fastly made and talking heads and stuff. And I do character-driven films that it takes time in order that they move further. So I think this was the challenging part, to make character-driven political film that it's still current, because things change very fast. In some moment the film was about European elections, in another moment it was about Trump's election, and so on and so on. Things were moving, but we couldn't stop the film because it wasn't ready. There was not enough stories, and then all the layers and everything. I think 4 or 5 years, it was the whole process of it.
Okay, and of course it's very current nowadays, the situation, for example, in Finland, and some part starting to cut like the uses of phones at schools. And I like very much how you captured yesterday in the documentary, when the journalist was explaining the kids what is the image and what are they understanding about it. How did you capture that important moment for the kids to be critical thinking?
Well, basically, more or less, what we have in the film is part of the main character, Genka Shikerova. She is a journalist's life. So she'd been teaching to different places about truth and how to discover truth, what to trust and what not in online, especially to young people, also to the universities. So this was quite natural to follow her also in that activities of hers. So yes, she had this lecture, it was ready, she'd been already doing it to other schools, and the kids are always very excited when you show this, what we show, and you can see their reactions, like showing them a cake, which is actually someone's leg with, it was fun, it was light, it was nice, because it's really hard also when you do a political documentary. You cannot, and especially if it's a character-driven documentary, you need to know more about the character's personal life, not just like the journalist's work. So this was the other layer of going into her personal life and how to present it and what's important of it for us as viewers.
Were there any kids that mentioned what is this about, we want to do when we are?
No, the kids were fine. They're excited. They like the camera, but of course it's the parents you need to convince that you need papers and permissions to film the kids and so on and so on. This was a bit more tricky, but it's normal in documentaries that you always have to have this kind of papers.
And when you were a kid, do you remember you had some special films or special TV shows you liked?
I don't know. Of course, like every kid from Eastern Europe, when the door opened and we were all crazy about, I know, Rocky, Rambo, all these Schwarzenegger, American Hollywood films. But when I was a bit older, I started watching a lot of films which were selected in Sundance. It was like my thing. I really liked Sundance selected films. We always joke with my brother that let's watch some Sundance film. It was like our thing to do. And yeah, of course later on I had 2 films at Sundance, which was like really great for me, and for my understanding of cinema, which I really like this festival. I think it's one of the best. But I remember when me and my brother were like, and of course we were from a small city in Bulgaria. Most of the films we saw were pirate films. I mean, there is no. First we were renting pirate cassettes. I remember, because you went, you know, to a shop to rent the films, and you rent them, but you see that they're just on some strange tapes, VHS tapes, made hundreds of them. You know, of course this was not any legal distribution, but it was, you know, Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. This was how it was at that times.
Very nice. And you came to Finland in 2001?
What was it, 2001?
2000. What about your memories of that time? If you have to put the Erasmus song in that time, which one will be?
Oh my, the Erasmus song. Oh, I don't know. You really? No, I can't. I don't know. With Erasmus songs, it's a good one, but I don't know. They had really this kind of the first songs of the Erasmus band. I guess you're asking because I told you that I'm going to make a film about, or we are planning to make a documentary about the band. But I remember in the archive somewhere I saw the first Erasmus songs, which were like a kind of Afro ska music. So I guess this the times when I came, I maybe relate to that ska crazy youngsters jumping around. This was the feeling when I came to Finland, and I stayed 15 years maybe, and then for the last 10 years I have been on and off. I mean, I've been traveling a lot to Bulgaria and to back in Finland, so half and half. Half and the time in Bulgaria, half time in Finland, and traveling and, you know, working, filming. I've been having a lot of films. Like, again, when I said one film it takes 4 or 5 years, I usually do few films at the same time, because, you know, one is in pre-production, one in production, one in post-production, because. And yesterday on the premiere, someone was saying, like, you have been so productive, having almost for the last 3-4 years every year a premiere. And it's true, but not all of those films were properly financed. This is the thing also, like, some of the films are really normally by film funds and television. Some of them we did with very little money, just enthusiasm of wanting to make a film. And last year we had a film called Geri Swish, Gerin Have in Finnish. And we made it with very little money. I mean, it was just in one orphanage in Bulgaria, and I wanted to make a film about this story. And at the beginning I was thinking it's going to be a short film, but then we shot very little days. But then the story keep moving and moving and moving. And then at the end we ended up making a feature-length film, and then it premiered in Shanghai, and it had been all over big festivals around the world. But it was done with very little money. So my point is that, yes, we do have a proper funding for some films, but when I feel like I want to do something, I just go for it, even with no money. I mean, that it's just what drives me.
Yes, I think that's the main part in your topics also, this passion that you have had since you started,
Yeah.
and this human part, and you have always worked really respectful and with dignity, and
Yeah.
it's also very valuable because you can't see it on screen, and
Yeah.
congratulations for that. And about these interconnections, you have traveled around the world, you come back to Finland, you live in Bulgaria, you have these situations. How do you interconnect with different cultures, different languages, in different times?
I don't know really. I don't know. I think that we are a new kind of. Our generation travels a lot. We change places where we live a bit easier. I think our kids is going to be even easier for them. So I think that it's very universal language that we are using, and the culture which we are having with us is changing, and it's getting richer. So it's not hard. Maybe nowadays it's probably harder than it was like 15, 20 years ago. But you know, like working with films, you just move on and find new things that excite you and something you like, and you're ready to spend time on, and just moving further, like forward. That I never thought that much. I didn't. Now, if I go for half a year there, or like now I have kids, and you know, it's again I'm trying to spend, of course, as much time as possible with them, but it's easy to travel nowadays and live in different places. Of course, nowadays, for the last 5 years, maybe it hasn't been easy anywhere. As you can see, with all the political crisis and everything, it's not easy to just change place and go to live in new place. So it's a harder work, and probably it's going to be even harder for our kids. But yeah, hope for the best.
Okay, okay. So now it's like kind of closing a circle with documentary. So what about your new stage as film director?
Well, I've had now maybe 10 feature-length documentaries and 1 fiction film that premiered 2 years ago. So yes, we are working on a new fiction film with the same producer, Carle Ahu, and it would be nice to do something different. It would be nice because also this political documentary was new thing for me, because my films are mostly character-driven. So this was interesting, but it was very heavy, and it's really challenging, which was okay. But now we have a new fiction film that we hope to shoot this year, or if it doesn't work this year, maybe next. It's pure fiction. I am excited to work with actors. As I said, I've done it in another one, feature length. This is going to be my second one, and I've done some short films, so this is interesting. And still, my films are really in the line between fiction and documentary, and I like this hybrid space a lot, how to play with it. So this also, I hope to have a challenging into developing the characters the right way, a bit more depth via the actors themselves, the people who are portraying. So yeah, challenging. And then probably I'm doing, as we have planned a documentary about the Rasmus, the music band. This is something maybe next year we do, or we start this year and then we see how it goes. But I have things going on, so.
Great. And what's your favorite spot? If you, for example, have a meeting with the Rasmus band, where should you take them? Where will you take them?
I don't know, I was filming with them in Budapest and in Prague, and it was quite nice. It's because it's Eastern Europe, but still they do their music. It was in quite very nice places that they were performing, so this was really interesting. So I don't know, we had a team, they were performing in Ukraine a few months back, so we had a team with them filming in Ukraine. That was interesting too. I don't know.
When was this?
I think, was it like September, something like that, last year. Yeah, just a few months back they were performing in Kiev. So yeah, during the war, which is absolutely crazy, but it's very nice. I mean, it's very strong message. Yeah, so this is, I don't know, but it's nice spending time with them. They're very nice people and band, and they're very, as Finns, are honest about their emotions and situation in life, which makes easier my work as a director. Yeah.
And just to close this nice interview, your strength, which are your strengths that you want to share with new audiences?
I don't give up. I think this is, no matter how tired I am of a subject or of a process, I kind of find a way to excite myself about it. I think this is my biggest strength, because this is the only way to actually finish a film. You have to not only not give up, but also find the strength to get excited about the thing you do. And I think this is my biggest strength, that I don't give up, and I find on and on and on something to be excited about in these films.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.